And now new at 5:30, is the bubble about to burst in South Florida's condo market?
Inventory is up, prices are down, and buyers are weary of 30 or 40-year-old buildings. Just this week, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis called for a special legislative session. It's to tackle the issues forcing people from the homes they have lived in for decades.
And consider this, Florida has about 1.5 million condos. 37% of them are right here in Miami-Dade and Broward counties. CBS News Miami's Joe Gorcho looks at what you should do if you want to buy or sell.
Conditions of the building has deteriorated within the last couple of years.
From a distance, Melina Moren lives in an ordinary North Miami high-rise. Upon closer inspection, you can see the issues plaguing 3 Horizons South. A giant hole near the top of this 50-year-old building. Balconies missing and under repair. Rusting pipes and other issues.
We have a leaky roof that could be causing water damage and mold issues.
Moren tells us she's paid over $11,000 for several special assessments over the last few years for the roof and concrete restoration projects. She's worried more are on the way.
So the damages have grown, and we need money to fix it.
We reached out to the association president to see if the repair projects are nearly complete or if future special assessments might be needed. She has yet to respond.
We're supposed to have concluded the concrete restoration and painting project.
Kenny Urban stepped down as the association's property manager last month for personal reasons. She explains that on top of the association trying to meet the upcoming safety deadlines to meet state requirements, the building is underinsured and is yet to fully fund mandated reserves.
These additional inspections, the reserve issues, the governance issues with records and all these other things, plus the insurance crisis. So it's literally a disaster.
She says it is a crisis for many aging buildings like this one. Urban has worked as a property manager in South Florida for 30 years.
Very frustrating for me during my career is the fixation on trivial things that, while maybe they are important to some degree, definitely not to the degree of making sure that you don't have deferred maintenance.
How many do you think of the course of your career were always trying to push for deferred maintenance and saying, we'll get to those big physical issues later down the line?
At least 50%.
Craig Studnicki, ISG World CEO, has been selling real estate for 45 years. The unknown rising costs of special assessments in aging buildings, he says, scare off potential condo buyers.
They're asking realtors, please don't take me to a special assessment building.
Condo owners trying to get out appear to be selling at a discount. His firm's research shows condo sales in buildings 30 years or older in Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach County are selling 20% lower than they were to start this year.
Think they saw bargains, but when they get their bill for special assessment sometime next year, I think they're going to realize they bought fool's gold.
We asked Studnicki if South Florida's condo market is at risk of going bust without changes to state laws to help homeowners.
Without any modification, more than likely the buildings will continue to further deteriorate and may ultimately one day be condemned, leaving the value of the units to zero.
And I just spoke to a woman a few moments ago that was walking her child on Brickell Bay Drive, and she told me an association just a block from where I'm standing right now is paying 6 figures in a special assessment. This week, Governor Ron DeSantis hearing the cries for help and suggesting the state could step in to help associations with interest-free loans or low-interest loans to help pay for these assessments or repairs. So I reached out to a handful of local lawmakers to gauge their appetite for condo solutions before the new safety laws go into effect at the beginning of next year. Only one responded, believing the best path forward would be to address the rising insurance costs. Live in Brickell, Joe Gorcho, CBS News Miami.
Joe, thank you.
Always alerting, always tracking. This is Next Weather.
So far, so good. Glad the weather is holding up for all those Dolphins fans at this point, but we know it is hot out there.
Yeah, it is September, so you know that's going to be the deal. But looks like those rain showers have moved out. So it looks like Ivan Cabrera is the man of the hour. Ivan, right now you're looking like a pretty smart guy.
How can you tell it's hot? Is it all dripping? It is hot. It is humid, but it's not raining. So that's the key, right? We had a lot of thunderstorms early this afternoon, but now things have cleared out nicely as folks begin to come on in tailgating, and we'll be doing that, I think, with dry weather for the next few hours. So that is excellent news as we check in on conditions on Next Weather Radar Network. Fired thunderstorms earlier, but now things have calmed down. We have a couple of clusters down across southern Miami-Dade, down towards the Homestead area with a couple of lightning strikes there, but that is about it. We have a lot of outflow boundaries, and sometimes those could generate a couple little showers here and there, but the bulk of the rain, I think, for the day is pretty much done as the atmosphere has worked its way around here, and now we're looking much better. Now, as we head in through tonight, and into tomorrow, we're going to likely still be dealing with heat advisories, right? We've had temperatures in the upper 80s, which sounds fantastic, but because of the humidity, makes it feel like 105 to 110. So we had a heat advisory today. We'll probably get another one tomorrow. We are now over 50 heat advisories so far this summer. There's your forecast for game night here. And if you're headed out, I tell you what, we're looking good. Dry, temperatures still in the 80s. So you missed the bulk of the weather, which we had to deal with a couple of hours ago. So we like to get it out of the way for you. Checking in on Fridays, we kick off the weekend. We'll do that. Still with some tropical moisture, so the thunderstorms that develop in the afternoon, again, will have the potential to give us a couple of, rounds of heavy rainfall in the afternoon with some frequent lightning. And we're going to try to drag in some slightly dry air. I think that's going to do a couple things, lower our rain chances for Sunday and early next week. But the thunderstorms that develop won't be as heavy as far as the rainfall here. So we're looking good as far as that goes. Tropics, we're done with Francine. I mean, it's still raining, but it's a remnant low over the Ohio Valley. And now we're focusing in on a couple of areas here. No threats for South Florida. There's a 30% probability they don't have the Carolinas. That's for next week. That'll go inland away from us. And then Tropical Depression 7, still not Tropical Storm Gordon. We're thinking that's going to be the forecast, but that's also another one we won't have to worry about as it moves up to the north and northeast Atlantic eventually. Let's check in on your forecast as we head through your Friday with high temperatures back in the 90s. We'll have heat into season to the 100s, and our rain chance is still looking about 30 to 50%, but looking pretty good for the weekend. If you have outdoor plans, we just have to avoid those afternoon storms. And we'll be looking good then with temperatures in the lower 90s. All right, guys, before I melt, I'll send it back to you. But we are having a blast here in between breaks. I've got my portable fan, which the battery still kind of works. And we're doing our best. Competing music. It's fantastic. It's what you would expect on game night here at Hard Rock Stadium.
Let's hope the Buffalo Bills melt tonight here
in
South Florida. All right, Ivan, thanks a lot. All right, just ahead, breaking news from Fort Lauderdale. Police have arrested the granddaughter of a couple murdered in their own home. We have late details coming up in just a few minutes at 6 o'clock.
But first, a consumer alert. There's a new scam on the rise, and we have a warning on what to look out for.
Next Traffic on CBS News Miami is sponsored by Coconut Creek Hyundai. Come see the all-new Coconut Creek Hyundai today. Now open and proudly serving the Tri-County area.
The end of summer event is on at Coconut Creek Subaru. Owning a new Subaru has never been easier with low interest financing available, or make no payments for 90 days on new models in stock, like the all-new 2025 Forester for just $325 a month. Shop CoconutCreekSubaru.com.
Warning signs can be hard to spot, but dangerous to ignore. These are past amendments to Florida's Constitution. This is Amendment 4. And here is the warning sign. Unlike other amendments, Amendment 4 has no definitions. Small detail, big problem. Without definitions, these words could mean almost anything, enabling abortions at any time, for almost any reason. Amendment 4 goes far beyond Roe v. Wade, empowering abortion clinics to approve late-term abortions without doctors, even after science says the baby can feel pain. Amendment 4 even cuts parents out of the loop, removing Florida's parental consent law and replacing it with notification. So what looks like a safeguard is actually a loophole. Whether it's fraud or just flawed, Amendment 4 is not what it seems. No definitions, no doctors, no parental consent. The warning signs are everywhere. Vote no on Amendment 4.
With drawings held twice a day, every day for exciting cash prizes. Pick games, pick winners by the bunch. Pick daily games from the Florida Lottery.
The end of summer event is on at Coconut Creek Subaru. Owning a new Subaru has never been easier with low interest financing available, or make no payments for 90 days on new models in stock, like a new Outback for just $325 a month. Shop CoconutCreekSubaru.com.
I'm Madeline Matlock. I'm a lawyer just like the TV show. Butterscotch? She's a freaking genius.
You have a plan to get him to talk to you?
We sure do.
Do we have a plan?
Not yet. Now that's something I can work with.
Matlock. Special sneak peek premiere September 22nd on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
Broward Health. Well into your future.
These are the stories
1, 2, 3, go!
of we, the people.
We're trying to generate our own hope.
It's a huge deal.
I'm enabling them to feel valued.
Eye on America. Weeknights on the CBS Evening News with Nora O'Donnell.
In tonight's Consumer Watch, a recent report shows overall scam complaints are falling.
That's good news, but one type of scam is on the rise. Christine Lazar explains.
Earlier this year, Susan Tompour received a text that sounded appealing. The person claimed to be a recruiter from a major employment site and was ready to offer her a work-from-home position that paid up to $1,000 a day.
When you get a text, somebody offering you a job, you feel like, oh, somebody likes you. You know, somebody likes your work. They've noticed your talent.
However, Susan is a journalist at the Detroit Free Press and knew instantly the job offer was a scam. One major giveaway, the sender wanted to talk on the encrypted messaging platform, WhatsApp.
Everyday recruiters are not going to talk to you by an app. They aren't using messaging apps, you know, where they can do some hiding. They're not going on Telegram or WhatsApp or Google Chat.
One of our biggest concerns is job scams.
Eva Velasquez is the CEO of the Identity Theft Resource Center and says reports of job scams to their organization have jumped 118% in 2023. And con artists are not only sending texts, they also post fake jobs on legitimate employment sites.
AI is a contributing factor because it's allowed the bad actors to refine their pitch to make it sound so much more legitimate.
The con often happens when a victim is told to fill out an application.
When applications are asking for things like your social security number, your bank account information, your passport or driver's license information, that's a huge red flag.
I know that the scammers, these are elaborate crime networks.
And to avoid those criminals, Susan followed the advice many experts recommend. Think twice before accepting an offer, especially if it sounds too good to be true. Christine Lazar, CBS News, Los Angeles.
And that's the news at 5:30.
CBS News Miami at 6 starts now.
This is CBS News Miami.
And right now at 6, we are live at Hard Rock Stadium. The Miami Dolphins are taking on the Buffalo Bills tonight, their division rivals, in a game you can see only on CBS Miami. Good evening, South Florida. I'm Elliot Rodriguez.
And I'm Lauren Pastrana. Thank you so much for joining us and being with us here live from Hard Rock Stadium. We've got live team coverage for you tonight as fans continue to pour into the stadium.
Drone 4 giving us a bird's eye view of Hard Rock Stadium. The energy out here, absolutely electric as the Fins look to end a losing streak against the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, we want a W tonight for sure. And that's where we begin with the fans and CBS News Miami's Samantha Rivera.
Samantha, let me ask you this. You've been hanging out with some tailgaters. Have you tried anything good yet?
No, actually, unfortunately, not yet. I'm vegan, so you don't really find a lot of vegan food out here. But I have, like you said, found a lot of really great fans, a lot of diehard fans. You can find them pretty much everywhere around here, right? But through the ups and downs, loyalty has probably been the biggest theme here, especially for these two families behind me. Combined, they have more than 70 years of being season ticket holders. Check out their story.
This ain't face paint. This is war paint, baby. It's the Eastern Division. And we're not playing around anymore. We're going to grill the Bills, period.
It's the best time of the year.
Oh, no, man, number one, baby.
Families and friends gathering in the parking lots to enjoy food, football, and some, let's say, friendly rivalries.
Since I was born and raised, you know, my brother took me to the Orange Bowl and became Dolphin season ticket, and we love our team. You know, that's our number one team. I know we've been struggling for years, but we're going to do it this year.
For 20 years, Alex Granda has remained a season ticket holder with his family, tailgating even with the other side. It's a tradition that's created lifelong friends, like Melvin Garcia, a 52-year season ticket holder, taking over his father's tickets after he passed away in 2008.
Every Sunday, every Monday, we don't sell the tickets. We come to the game.
Remaining loyal to the Dolphins is one thing, but to keep it as a family event holds the most value for these fans. What makes you guys so loyal?
Because first of all, my wife, she's Dominican, and I show her about football. And she can see her daughters every Sunday or every game. Even though they live close by, we don't see them for a month or two. So this is like a family thing, you know. And I just got a grandson, and he already has his seats already. And he doesn't pay yet until he's 2 years old.
Well, 2 years isn't too bad, right? That's like when every kid starts to pay bills, right? All right, so obviously the majority of these fans are going for a Dolphins win tonight, except for these two people here. Yeah, they make it work. They make this friendship work. It's going to be an exciting game, you guys. I'll throw it back to you.
11-1 Bills.
All right, Samantha, we got to find a vegan tailgate for Samantha. So anyone who hosts a vegan tailgate at Hard Rock Stadium, reach out to us at CBS Miami so we can send Samantha there to have some fun of her own next time. Thanks so much, Samantha, for that live report.
All right, next weather chief meteorologist and hurricane specialist Ivan Cabrera is with us as well. He is the man everybody wants to hear from. Ivan?
Well, at this point, you know, it's all good news. We're talking about these downpours earlier this afternoon, but I think we're looking fantastic now as we check in on Next Weather Radar Network. If you're headed out to the game, I mean, there's a couple of thunderstorms here and there, but for the most part, everything just got going early. And when that happens, you tend to have a quieter evening here. In fact, we've had little breaks of sunshine every once in a while, and that's not just at Hard Rock here, but along Miami-Dade as we continue with more showers and storms down to the south of Miami and along the 18-mile stretch. I mean, this is just anemic compared to where we were yesterday. This is exactly perfect timing for our big game before tonight. It could have been a whole different story because the air mass is still tropical, so those downpours from earlier just could have timed out much later. So we're looking good for the rest of the tonight that you see there on Next Weather Rain Tracker. Not going to see much in the way of any significant rainfall, if anything, just a couple little showers. We're still in the 80s. It still feels like triple digits, and we can attest to that here live. It has been another heat advisory day. Can you believe it? Yeah, it's into the 50s now as far as how many we've had. We'll likely get another one tomorrow, but things will begin to improve. Was that a light breeze I just felt? That makes a difference, and we'll get that, you know, intermittently for the rest of the evening. Check in on the forecast as we take a look for the rest of tonight. Mostly cloudy skies, but temperatures in the 80s. I'll be back with your full weekend forecast. Friday is upon us here, and we'll check in on the tropics as well in just a few minutes.
Okay, Ivan, thank you very much. It's only been 4 days since the Finns' first win, but all eyes have remained on the team following, of course, the controversial detainment of superstar Tyreek Hill just outside the stadium.
Yeah, and tonight we are learning police have actually been warned about online threats in response to that incident. CBS News Miami's Ted Scouten is joining us live right now outside the stadium. Ted, what exactly did that warning specify?
Well, specifically, Lauren and Elliot, it said that there was a noticeable surge in threatening language that was directed at the police, saying that much of it seems to be emotionally charged. At the same time, though, they said it should not be dismissed.
That we will be, you know, at a higher alert and you know, there'll be increased security out there.
Police keeping their senses heightened as fans pack Hard Rock Stadium. They're reacting to online threats. We received a situational awareness bulletin from a CBS News Miami source. It's from the Southeast Florida Fusion Center, made up of local, state, and federal law enforcement. It came out Monday.
We've had threats that they're seeing, that they're investigating about the only good cop is a dead cop. These cops all deserve to be gunned down and stuff like that.
Stedman Stahl is the president of the South Florida PBA. That's the union for the Miami-Dade police officers. He said online threats have gone up after the release of body cam video showing a Miami-Dade officer pulling Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill from his car and cuffing him on the ground.
There is no particular group that's saying it, but it's just a lot of chatter on the social media platforms. And sometimes that leads to negative things happening.
And there's a ripple effect. Some officers are deciding not to work the off-duty detail at the stadium.
They sign up to work this off-duty job. So some of the officers have chosen to opt out and not go and work the game. They don't want to be exposed to it.
I think Miami's going to come hard.
Despite all of the drama that unfolded this past week, Frank and Marie D'Angelo think that there will be an upside to all of this tonight.
I think it's going to get the boys to play harder tonight. And I think, it's going to be a good stance for the public, a good stance for the police, for the civilians and the police to coexist.
So some very optimistic fans there. Now, the union tells us that despite some of those officers opting not to work the gig out here at the stadium, they say that there's plenty of officers here. They're fully staffed. Other officers have come in, and they expect things to be safe tonight. Live in Miami Gardens, Ted Scout, CBS News Miami.
All right, Ted, thank you very much. And I have to mention, when we got here, lots of law enforcement out there. Everything was going smoothly. So many people that work here at the stadium, a lot of hard work and good work. And, right now we're just thinking about this game right now.
People are here wanting to have a good time. Tyreek Hill says football is his therapy for fans. This is their moment to let loose and just have a good time or not think about everything else. He is very good at that. So we, of course, are going to have much more here at the stadium. For now, though, we want to take you back to the CBS News Miami studio. Jim Barry and Naja Sherman are there as our crews follow other developing stories all across South Florida. Jim and Naja?
All right, guys, thanks a lot. Now at 6, we're following some breaking news out of Fort Lauderdale. Police say the granddaughter of an elderly couple who was killed is now in custody and charged with their murder. Last month, the woman's boyfriend was also charged in the couple's death.
This case has had many twists and turns since the deadly discovery back in March. CBS News Miami's Yvonne Taylor joins us live now with the update. Yvonne.
And that granddaughter was arrested today, Jim and Naja. Now, Fort Lauderdale police are saying that this woman, 38-year-old Jalisa Hill, they believe that she worked in conjunction with her boyfriend to kill her grandparents. At this very moment, this woman faces 2 counts of first-degree murder. 89-year-old Major Melvin and 82-year-old Claudette Melvin were shot to death at their home in Melrose Park back in March 22nd, 2024. According to Fort Lauderdale police, 30-year-old Maurice Anthony Newsom stole the couple's vehicle hours after the crime. Back in July, we interviewed Tanya Mitchell, the couple's daughter, seen here with her daughter, which is not the granddaughter that was just arrested. They live in Georgia and reacted to the fact that the stolen red Ford Fusion had been found, and 30-year-old Maurice Anthony Newsom was mentioned as a suspect.
My family has been torn apart. My heart aches, and the perpetrators need to be caught. This has just been going on a little bit too long, and I'm so delighted that you all have made the contact with me to get an update so that we can put it out there and let other people see it.
Newsom was arrested on August 27th, and now his girlfriend is behind bars for the murder of this elderly couple. In July, investigators stated in a 40-page report they had interviewed Jalisa Hill, the granddaughter arrested on Thursday, and she had changed her answers from before, saying, quote, in previous interviews, she stated that she and her mother would be sole heirs to the house. In this interview, she stated she was never next in line to receive her grandparents' home. And in spite of these 2 arrests, Fort Lauderdale police is still saying that this is still an ongoing investigation. And for that reason, they are urging anybody who knows something or saw something to call Crime Stoppers of Broward, and the number is 954-493-TIPS. Remember that your identity can remain anonymous. We are live in Fort Lauderdale. Yvonne Taylor, CBS News, Miami.
Yvonne, thank you. Now at 6, a South Florida mother charged in the death of her 7-year-old son faced a judge today.
She is one of 5 people accused of abuse and neglect. CBS News Miami's Joan Murray joins us live now from Fort Lauderdale with what happened today in court. Joan?
And this case is getting so much attention because of all the issues being raised, the caring for a severely disabled child. Are Medicaid dollars being spent properly? Will there be enough oversight when someone can't care for themselves? And finally, the human toll. This mother clearly upset today. She's been in jail 2 days, and you can definitely see the effect this tragedy is having on her. Accused of starving her disabled child to death, Michelle Doe spent Thursday going from courtroom to courtroom. Her wrist in handcuffs, she struggled to sign her name at a dependency hearing.
Walter Atwell, father.
Walter Atwell once lived with Doe and came to court offering to care for Doe's 9 and 16-year-old children. And then Doe was told she will not be allowed to see her kids.
Contact at this point in time in the matter would be inappropriate and detrimental to the children in regards to them.
Outside of court, Walter Atwell could offer little explanation on all that's happened.
This is already a tough situation, and I don't want to make it any tougher.
Doe was arrested Tuesday along with her 21-year-old son, her father, and 2 other home health care givers. Police say all 5 allowed 7-year-old Deontay Atwell to waste away to 7 pounds. Deontay was unable to walk or talk, was on a feeding and breathing tube, and required round-the-clock care. The family called 911 last Christmas.
My nephew, he's on the breathalyzer. He's not responding too well right now. He's like weak. We need an ambulance, man.
At a hearing on whether she would be given bond, we learned that besides a charge of murder, Michelle Doe is also charged with child neglect.
Victims' older brothers, a 9-year-old and a 16-year-old that were in the home and present and even sharing the same bedroom and bed with the victim during the course of this prolonged starvation.
So again, the 9 and 16-year-old going with that man who is a father to one of those children, not the other, but has agreed to take the children for the time being. Now, as for the maternal grandfather who was arrested, he was supposed to get out of jail, but we understand there's been a snag in his release because of raising funds to be able to have a place to live. Meanwhile, Doe and the rest of the people charged in this case have been given no bond. Reporting in downtown Fort Lauderdale, Joan Murray, CBS News, Miami.
Joan, thank you. Still ahead, can the Miami Dolphins break their losing streak against the Buffalo Bills? Who and what the Fins have to focus on to make the big win?
Somebody's trying to jinx them there, looks like, anyway. And Elliot and Lauren take us back to Hard Rock Stadium for a one-on-one chat with our good friend and Dolphin legend Nat Moore. That's all new right after the break.
Rubenstein Law, 1-800-FL-EAGLE, your personal injury lawyers. Searching for the best cardiac program in South Florida? From minimally invasive to complex surgeries, Mount Sinai gives you access to the most experienced surgical team and the best survival rates. There is only one, Mount Sinai.
There's just one place to celebrate our happy new model year. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Plus last chance savings on a 2024 ZDX. $479 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines.
Giant corporations don't do things out of the goodness of their heart. They do things to make money. And that's exactly why they wrote Amendment 3. Marijuana mega corporations spent $60 million putting Amendment 3 on your ballot. Why? It entrenches their monopoly, bans homegrown pot, and gives special licenses to select corporations. They wrote it, they rigged it, and they're hoping you fall for it. Amendment 3 isn't the marijuana